Welcome to the 300th episode of Bras, Panties, and Sports. Oh, man, it is exciting up in here. We got the champagne and biscuits going. I just don't know what to do with myself. Now, I am Spitface. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. We have the First Lady of Sports Talk, the original, the one and only Antoinette Cheryl Smith. We got Goddess Kelli, a diva of sports debate. Don't be messing around on other shows. She'll debate the hell out of you and stuff. You know, I saw in that movie about them little debate folks. And then we got CJ out of Chicago with the best ribs, the best Italian beef, the best pizza, the best... CJ, I'm hungry already. But check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Zanya Laurence. Will she find her shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? It can get chilly. But before we begin, it's time for some funny ladies. Let's get our giggle on. Producer, please roll it.
Rita Rudner.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. It's very nice to be hosting the best of evening at the Improv. You can tell this is a very special night, can't you? Yes, because they've rented letters. And I did start my career in comedy at the Improv. I had a few other jobs before comedy actually got going. I was a stewardess for a while on a helicopter. There were about 5, 6 people tops, I'd say. Would you like something to drink? You would? Then we're going to have to land. I was a waitress for a while in a revolving restaurant. And I have a bad memory for faces. I used to say, just shut up and eat it. I had the most boring office job in the world. I used to clean the windows on the envelopes. Oh. Now I work for myself, which is fun, except when I call in sick, I know I'm lying. And I did start off in New York. I lived in New York a long time. I lived in one of those brand new high-rise buildings. The walls were very thin. I remember one night my neighbors called me up and asked me, Rita, could you please stop eating pudding? It was right near Central Park. I couldn't actually see the park, but if I concentrated, I could hear the screams for help. And I moved to Los Angeles after I got married. I love being married. I do. It's so great to find that one special person that you want to annoy for the rest of your life. I married a man who's younger than I am. Yes, thank you. In fact, he's 2 years younger than he thinks I am. Well, the old theory was marry an older man because they're more mature, but the new theory is men don't mature, marry a young one. Oh, I heard booing, and my husband hates that joke, too. But he still gets angry when I bring cereal home that doesn't have a prize in it.
All right, now... Yeah, I hate to say it. I think she got a point. I hate to say it, but I think she got a point. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Okay, each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Or they try to tell us something, so we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Sean Payton wishes he could fly far away from a case of brain fart coaching. Your team is darn near out of time, but you got a shot, and you, the coach, blows it with a dumb penalty? Can the Saints recover from this stumble? Are the Falcons pretenders or contenders? What will Cam and the Panthers have to say? Mary Jo Fernandez, Christy Rampone, Holly Brooks, and the Steve Miller Band are asking what you saying. Yeah, well, the Saints, they had a shot to get the ball back from that last prayer with the Falcons facing a third down, but for some reason, the coach, Sean Payton, cost them the team the opportunity when he was slapped with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. He was flagged for 15 yards for walking onto the field and complaining to the official about trying to get a timeout called. Now, I've watched a lot of football in my life, a lot of football. I can't remember the last time I saw a coach hit with a penalty for yelling at them. The referees are usually very tolerant when it comes to coaches screaming at them. I've seen coaches scream at the referees all the time. So I don't understand why Sean Payton received a penalty. I don't know. I think those referees went a little bit too far on that one. Or maybe even Sean went a little bit too far, but I was kind of surprised with that. I wasn't used to seeing a coach getting a penalty. But anyway, can the Saints recover? Of course they can recover. They have 3 more games left, and 2 of the games are at home. I mean, let's face it, they have the Jets, and they have a repeat match with the Falcons at home, and after that they have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I believe the Saints can recover. They are definitely one of the surprises this year of the NFL. No one anticipated the Saints to be where they are, considering where they were the last 2 seasons. So I definitely think they'll have no problem recovering. Now, as far as the Falcons, I'm on the fence about the Falcons. I really don't know if they are pretenders or contenders. I don't know. I'm not sure about their offense. I don't know if the offense is back. I mean, they really look so pedestrian against the Vikings, but they did recover against the Saints. Now, interestingly, they have the 3 games left, and their 3 games are with the Tampa Bay, then they have the Saints, and then they end up the season against the Panthers. So they got a tough schedule ahead of them. I mean, they probably could beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I don't know about the Saints again and the Panthers. So it's going to be really great down the end because the Panthers, Cam has a lot to say about what's going to happen because they're going to be in the thick of things. Now, as far as the other 2 teams, the Panthers, they have a really tough schedule ahead of them because they got to play the Saints. Well, actually, they got the upcoming game against the Vikings. They have the Packers, they have Tampa Bay, and they have the Falcons. That's really 4 tough teams because all 3 of the teams, Vikings, Packers, and the Falcons, are still in the contest to make it to the playoffs. So, but the one thing I found interesting is that Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they can decide who goes to the playoffs because they are playing all 3 of these teams. I just love how the NFL schedule makers have the teams within the same division playing each other at the end of the season. It creates so much drama. Goddess Kelli, what do you think about all this drama?
Well, I'm a girl who loves her drama, but when it comes to Sean Payton, I mean, we are talking about a veteran head coach, and he's one of the most coveted coaches out there. Whenever there's a coaching opening, people are like, oh, they should go after Sean Payton. They should go after Sean Payton. Everybody wants this guy. So if he wants to have a little momentary lapse of reason where he gets himself penalized, whether it's a fair penalty or not, you know what? Under the bridge. Let the man slide on this one. We have seen so much biased and terrible reffing this year, and it seems like the refereeing in games just gets worse and worse. The NFL went in a good direction when they brought back the celebration rule. They're allowing teams to do that and have fun on the field, but even with those penalties gone away, it seems like they're calling all sorts of other stupid stuff. So, I mean, I think because it's a man like Sean Payton, we just completely give it a pass, whatever, doesn't even matter. The Saints, as a team, they have been playing incredible. When did did they find a defense? I am so confused on this. I mean, for years, there has been zero D out of New Orleans, and now all of a sudden, they can defend the football? It's amazing. And we all know that Drew Brees is an incredible quarterback. He has got a running game like he's never had for him before, so everything is looking good for the Saints, and I think they're just going to keep on marching in. When it comes to the Falcons, I think this year they're kind of pretenders. I mean, we're not seeing them have the same kind of success that they had last year when they made it to the Super Bowl and then lost in the last minute. I think that they're still recovering from how terrible a loss that was, and I don't think that they've got the juice to make it all the way into the playoffs this year. I think they're going to end up getting beaten out for a wild card slot. And when it comes to Cam Newton, I mean, he folds under pressure worse than anyone. We saw what happened in his Super Bowl when he failed to fall on the ball. But Cam has proven time again, no matter what kind of cute little outfits he wears and how much he embraces the hate from the media and the fans for all of his silly little antics, when it comes down to the big game, he just can't do it. So out of that division, it's going to be the Saints all the way. Wouldn't be surprised if one of the other two teams gets a wild card slot. The NFL is so up in the air when it comes to who's going to get the wild card. The front runners are pretty secure, I think. We're going to see, the Eagles, the Vikings, the Saints. But, I mean, other than that, wild card is up for grabs, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see these division matchup drama games going into the year. And Sean Payton, you know what? Leave the man alone. He has been a heck of a coach throughout his career, and I like him. I like him as a person. He seems fun. I'd like to have a drink with him.
Okay, you'd like to have a drink with him, but he seems to be so mild-mannered. I mean, I've seen other coaches really yelling at referees. I don't know why they're picking on Sean Payton. But anyway, CJ out of Chi-Town. What do you think about this whole Sean Payton mess and what's going on with the competition?
Well, I think that they're just picking on Sean Payton because they're trying to divert from what was really going on the field and what has been happening within the entire season. So it was, see how we're standing up for everybody. So now they stood up and they gave him a penalty for something that he was trying to clarify in the first place, which I don't understand. If you're trying to clarify a statement, then why are you being penalized for it? But that's the reason in the future, I bet you, they will start having robot referees, and they're going to be able to just tell you that you're wrong or you're right, and it'll leave it alone. As far as the Saints go, I've always known that they were going to do well this year. I've been in their corner all year long. And those Falcons, a contender, perhaps, if they could just get their heads together and actually play a good game, they would be a contender. But their ego is probably going to keep them being pretenders. And Cam and the Panthers, we're still waiting. That's like having a dream of meeting your favorite star, and you miss them by 5 minutes every time. Get close, but you're just not there. And you know that one day, someday, it's going to happen. But is it going to happen in your lifetime is the question.
CJ, come on. I don't know if Cam would like to hear that, CJ. I like the way you
I've been waiting
that.
a while.
He's been waiting a while. They waited, what? Last year they didn't make it, but the year before they were in the Super Bowl. But, they got to come back. Yeah, what happened? All right, Spitface, what's your take on this situation?
I don't know. Y'all trying to figure out what Cam Newton is going to do with the Panthers, which is not go nowhere. And the Falcons, I hate to put them in the pretender category, but they almost lost to the Bears. If you got the only reason they lost to one was because the Bears receivers was so bad, so terrible, that they dropped 3 passes in the end zone. So I had to get him the pretender label, and I have a sneaky suspicion The Saints will be marching on.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll be marching on. But I don't know. I'm not giving up on the Panthers. I believe I am green eggs and ham will get it done. All right. Over to you, Goddess Kelli.
Don't call it a comeback. I have been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go explosion over an hour and wrecking shop when I drop these make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Oh, Mama said knock you out. Oh, we are not talking about Ingrid Klimke, Christine Gerard, or Leslie Thompson. We are talking about the knockout punches NFL players have been landing on each other simply playing the game with a few big hits. Has the game risen to a new level of violence? Should we let the players wear kilts and be touch football or perhaps flag? Is it unrealistic to think a sport involving running into each other at full speed is going to be safe? Would you let your kid play football or steer him toward basketball or perhaps synchronized swimming? Forget playing football, steer them towards being the NFL commissioner. Go Condoleezza Rice. Yay! Allie Bernard, Hope Powell, Sandra Sassine are asking what you saying. Reason why football is called a contact sport. Because it is. It's a full contact sport. You know the risks when it comes down to playing the game. You've seen all the studies. There's all the terrible things going on with CTE, the brain injuries, that sort of thing. But we still watch it. We still love it. Kids still grow up wanting to play it. It's still the lifelong dream of a lot of kids in high school and in college. I mean, I've had the pleasure of doing different interviews with college football stars who are trying to get into the NFL, and they know the risks, but it's still what they want to do. It almost feels like a vocation for them. They're willing to take that risk to do something that they love, something that's going to get them the fame and the fortune. So when it comes down to it, if I don't have children, I don't want children, I never want children, I am not a children person, but if I did, I would allow my kid to play football if it was what they wanted to do. I wouldn't be one of those kind of parents that would be like, you need to play football because you're a man and that's what men do. If a kid wanted to be, a figure skater, I would support them 100% on that too. It doesn't matter. I think that you should allow kids to do what they do. But at that same time, there has been such a huge number this year alone. I mean, some of them have been absolutely brutal. But we see the same thing in all of sports. I mean, look at what happened with Gordon Hayward and his ankle. See in hockey. Look at some of the injuries we see everywhere. Look at Nancy Kerrigan when she got her knee bashed in. It doesn't matter what sport you play. There is a chance of injury. I think what needs to happen is for helmet on for quite a while. I read a study. They're trying to make a helmet out of the same type of material they do with the NASCAR barriers that are supposed to stop the crashes from being so bad. So they need to keep doing that. They need to keep, obeying the rules, no late hits, no unnecessary roughness, that kind of thing. But don't stop the boys from playing the game. Let the game go on. Just think of ways to get more equipment and better ways to keep that head from bouncing around, that sort of thing. Is a violent sport, but that's the nature of the game. That's what football is. To take that away, it would no longer be football, and all fans would be gone. First Lady, what do you think about this one?
Well, I don't think the game has risen to a new level of violence. I mean, the game was more violent in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. I mean, I think about Jack Tatum, Lawrence Taylor, Ronnie Lott, Mean Joe Green, Mel Bunt. Come on, and the rest of the hard-hitting NFL players. As the Monday Night Football segment always says, come on, man, the league is not as violent as the previous eras. The game is changed to protect the players more and to have a more, it was changed because, they wanted to protect the players. They wanted to have more offense. So they don't really allow all the hits that they used to allow before. Just like in the NBA, half the fouls that they call flagrant fouls now were normal fouls in the 80s and the 90s. So the NBA evolved with their rules, so the NFL is evolving with their rules. I understand, the NFL, they have CTE issues, and they need to address this situation. But making changes to protect the players from being hit makes sense when it comes to like helmet to helmet. But it's important, though, that to keep the integrity of the game, and I think it's really being unrealistic for people to think that a sport that involves running into each other at full speed will be safe. It's not going to happen. Football is violent sport. It's a contact sport. It's good the way it is now. They made the necessary changes. They do not need to make any more changes. The only other changes that they want to make, if they could make, they should see if they can protect the players with regards to their helmets. Maybe they can cushion those helmets a lot more than they are now. And, as a parent, I'm a parent of a 21-year-old. Actually, I did sign my son up to play football, but the good thing about it, his head was too small and they couldn't find a helmet for him. I hated to laugh at my poor boy with his peanut head. But anyway, I understand the struggles of parents. I really do. I truly understand, because it's difficult to see your child playing that rough game. But you have to allow your kids to play. There's actually a lot of football players now, when you talk to them, they don't want their children to play football. But I don't believe that's going to change over the years. I know there's a decrease in enrollment into Pop Warner football and to other leagues, but parents, they got to make a decision regarding this for their children. And sometimes you got to let your kids be happy, and just pray. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Not every child that's going to go out and play football is going to be hurt. So, like I said, I just wish they could develop a better headgear. And can you imagine that the players back in the day used to play with a leather headgear? That's just unbelievable, that they was banging each other with just leather on top of their head. I don't know, Goddess Kelly. I see you don't want any children, but I understand where parents are coming from.
What about you, CJ?
Well, this is how I'm going to try and stay as nice as I possibly can, because I used to like to play football, but they wouldn't let me play football because I was a girl, and girls can't play football because of the contact sport, and because it's a contact sport, I might get hurt, so I can't play. That's what was told to me last century. And it really kind of hurt, because I wanted to play football. I wanted to run. I was short. I was fast. I had a chance. I thought I could be a contender. I think that's how some of these young people feel today. Unfortunately, they're letting females begin to play football. Yes, it's a contact sport. Yes, you can possibly be injured, but we can always be injured just walking down the street, off a curb, hit a crack. Remember, break your mother's back? Do-do-do-do. We can do this, and I think that the NFL just needs to, and maybe not even the NFL, maybe the pre-NFL, for kids learning the game, should just get more protective gear to help sanction them throughout their learning curve, because everybody doesn't learn the same way. So if they could possibly do that, maybe it would be better for everybody else. So I don't know. What do you think, Spitface?
When I'm looking at I do not think that the game is rougher, more violent, as the First Lady said. If you go back to the 60s, 70s, if you go back, people forget that there was a time when they were getting ready to ban football because people were actually getting killed playing it. Oh, yeah. And what happened? So that they could keep, because the game was super popular. But people were getting killed playing it. And what it was because it used to be get them running back the ball and a cloud of dust and everybody umpire. Well, what happened was they made a little invention called the forward pass. And the forward pass saved professional football. Because when they introduced the forward pass and introduced the rules that went along with it, it made it a safer game. Because no longer could you just get a bunch of big guys who would just pile on top of whoever had the ball. That ended. Because now you had to have people who could run. You had to have people who were quick. And you had to have people who could, had to play differently. But it made it a safer game. And if you look back, before a lot of rules got implemented, a receiver could go down the field, and as long as that ball wasn't in the air, you could knock him on his ass. You could do all sorts of stuff. Now, after 5 yards, you can't touch him, whether the ball is in the air or not. That made the game safer. You can't crack back. You can't hit below the, so they made adjustments that made comments that were sense. But it all comes down to, you got two people running at full speed into each other, it's going to be a collision. So don't kilt them up. See, I can't say skirt them up because these women rough today, boy. Don't kilt them up. And I'd like to see Condoleezza Rice as the commissioner, and I hope Don Goodell don't get upset with me on that one.
All right, CJ, over to you for the break.
The first two listeners to email us or send a shout-out why Ingrid Klemke Knows Horses will receive a $25 gift card from our partners at NFLshop.com and Victoria's Secret. Here's your hint. Eventing. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Zanya Laurence on the first part of Shoutout.
It didn't take 300 episodes for the NFL to figure out that folks get ran into. And the 300th anniversary of Free Mr. Devine.
Okay, where are we? The music flows in and around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Zanya Laurence.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If you like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. And yes, CJ, today we are featuring music from Zanya Laurence. And DJ, let's hear her song, Stardust.
And now it feels like a good floating inside. Burn the flame well up in my eyes. It goes down the cheeks. Yeah, for your eyes, I sigh as they fall down in the sea. I'm alone in this room, but it feels like I am. as I hold on tight to the memories that I had. The uncertainty of the future creeps up my back. Lost in a maze, in a melancholy haze, to my electric light. Smoke fills the room, cigarettes burn to ash, like everything else. Nothing will last. I was sunshine, shine in your eyes, and I was here like a blue, slow, deep inside, Said I was a star to shine, a star in your eyes. Now it feels like a supernova, floating inside. I said I was a star to shine in your eyes. Now it feels like a supernova. Now I'm fire to rise, and I start to act like everything else. Nothing, no, nothing will last. No, nothing will last. You said I was a star to shine. I shine in your eyes, and I would feel like a supernova floating inside. And now I'm just
Okay, well, let's see if Miss Zanya Laurence has enough stardust to sprinkle on her to make her a star. All right, Goddess Kelli, what did you think about the song? You going to give her a shout out, or are you going to hit the mute button?
Well, I mean, right before the song started, I had some technical difficulties, and I wish I continued to have technical difficulties because even if that Stardust was some special cocaine straight from South America, it was not enough to make me enjoy that track. The only way you can enjoy that track, it reminded me, if you were at like a lounge bar and it was like amateur night, maybe if you were like a dozen shots deep, you might be all like, whoa, this is good. But other than that, no, terrible, bad, mute.
Hit the mute. All right, CJ.
Well, it depends on what crowd you're listening to now in that lounge, Goddess Kelli. Because if you were in one of those scene-like places, and those people in the lifestyle know what I'm talking about, that music might have been right on time. Might have been apropos, especially if you kind of spread it out, did a little mix on it, be able to put those whips with those little that they were going with, had a little calm down period. It might have worked for them. On the radio 24/7? No.
Okay. So I take it you're going to hit the mute button.
I had to commute for that. It could seem
All right.
great scene music. Tell them they need to go into an alternative lifestyle there. They might be able to make a penny or two, but
Okay.
popularity-wise, nope.
Spitface, are you going to give her a shout out or are you going to hit the mute?
Well, I kind of liked the track. I thought it was nice, melodic. Her voice was really nice, a nice voice. The lyrics made sense, and I thought it was well produced. I can get that it's not a track for everybody. Okay, I can get that, but I thought it was a good track. I'm giving it a shout out.
Well, it's funny, Spitface. I mean, I didn't think it was totally bad the way CJ and Goddess Kelly talked about it, but I don't think it's all that great either. So I'm going to hit it with the yo. Actually, I kind of like the latter part of the song better because I think for some reason it seemed to flow a little bit better for me in the latter part of the song. But I didn't like the beginning part of it, and so I'm definitely going to give it just a yo. But we'll see on part 2 is shout out, and we'll have another performance from Zanya Laurence to see what she can get from the crew, because we're a tough panel. I can tell you that right now. Speaking of tough, is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
And we know swimmers live in a world full of wonder, flying there under the sea.
All right, it's time for Flip It, where our host defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. I do have to put in a disclaimer to let folks know that no porpoises were injured in the production of this show. Just want to let folks know up front, no porpoises were injured or dolphins in the production of this show. Now, but we do have a situation, and the situation for the New York Giants is a hot mess. Whew! I don't know what happened with them boys. Bye-bye, coach. Whew! Got rid of him. Now, Eli will start again. Gino's upset, like he can play. Should Eli stay with the Giants, even if he would be the starter next season? Defend. We believe in forgiveness, but not forgetfulness. Eli Manning should go. Hello, Jaguars. Goddess Kelly, defend.
Well, I mean, it's the truth. Once a team has benched you and decided not only do they want to get rid of, their franchise guy who's been like the most consistent quarterback besides Tom Brady in this era, and go with somebody like Geno Smith, who, might I remind you, got his jaw broken by a teammate because he's just that bad. Oh my goodness, to have that guy be your replacement. People should realize where they're not appreciated, and you know what? Coughlin has always appreciated Eli Manning, so hello, Jaguars.
All right. CJ, forgive, but not forget. Defend.
It's that time of the year. to just start packing your little bags, out with the old, in with the new. He doesn't have to take that type of treatment. He did the best he could. And all to have this little young whippersnapper come up and say, no. He can go where he can be appreciated.
All right, a little appreciation there. First Lady, I know you believe in forgiveness.
Yeah, I mean, Eli's situation at Giants will not get any better because Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo are gone. Now, if Eli wants to protect his career and his legacy, he needs to move on and reunite with Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville, where, number one, they have a much better offensive line than the New York Giants. Now, Odell Beckham, yeah, he's one of the best receivers, but his immaturity issues is just getting too tiresome for me. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have a nice complement of receivers led by Allen Hurns. So, I mean, Eli could resurrect his career there. And the Jaguars are in contention for a playoff spot, despite having an inconsistent Blake Bortles. Can you imagine if Eli were their quarterback? I mean, this team would be a juggernaut because Eli, one thing he can do, he still can throw the football and he can connect on a consistent basis with his receivers. Eli, just say goodbye to New York. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye.
Lead the Big Apple. But I don't know. But I do know that you can forgive. You can forget if you want to. We're going to flip the script. The New York Giants should kiss his fanny, offer him a lot of money, and he should retire as a New York Giant by staying. Goddess Kelli, defend.
Well, I mean, there is nothing I hate more than a quarterback that starts shopping teams after they're past their prime. We saw it with Brett Favre, and we saw what a nightmare that was. And I think what Eli Manning should do is try and get his starting job back. The New York Giants, you know what, they don't have any other options with all of their problems with the offensive line, their problems with their receivers, not being able to stay healthy, that sort of thing. They should be happy to keep Eli Manning there. Eli Manning is a New York Giant for life. I mean, that's just what he is after what he's done for that franchise. Maybe he could leverage this into another contract when they realize they've got nobody to really replace him, but he should stay a Giant, and he should retire a Giant. And I think he should retire sooner rather than later before he becomes a shadow of himself and it just becomes sad.
A shadow. Sad. CJ. Stay.
Eli is just the center of that team. You say Giants, you say Eli. They just go together. And he should be there. And he's going to be there from the end of time. And you watch and see, even though they don't think he's better right now, but when it comes to the clinch, he's the one that's going to get them out of it. And he's the one that's going to show them that he is the man, as he always has been. You can always come and get new folks to do your jobs, but when it comes down to the clutch, when it comes down to if they happen to get into a position where they can maybe be a contender, you're going to look back for him. Because he's the one who's going to not say, oh my goodness, they called me a bitch. Yeah, oh, they hit me hard. I can't do it anymore. You're going to have to look for that old horse to pull you out.
Like they say in Texas, keep riding the horse that got you there.
That's right.
First Lady, Eli should stay.
Yeah, Eli should stay. It's time for Eli to forgive the Giants and just continue to play with the Giants. I mean, New York was where he wanted to be. I mean, it was where he wanted to be since he left college. If you remember, his father, Archie Manning, and him manipulated the draft to get to New York. So why is he trying to escape New York? I mean, Eli has always been in a New York state of mind. he's been there for 14 seasons with the Giants. He's not going anywhere. The Giants just need to re-up and sign him to a short-term contract, maybe 2 years, 2 years at the max. That's it. Can't give him more than 2 years, and let him retire with dignity. And, people got to remember, and New Yorkers have to remember, Eli brought 2 Super Bowls to New York. So he deserves to leave on his terms and to retire a New York Giant.
I put it like this. What do the New York Giants have in place of him? Even if they draft high, which they gonna do in the during the draft, are they gonna really get somebody better than him? And the other thing is that Eli, please don't be making the commercials like your brother. Find something more interesting. Because if I hear that commercial one more time, stay in New York. Forgive him, but make sure you get some more money, Eli. Make sure you get some more money. CJ, please take us a break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
300 episodes. Where are the ribs and the prime beef? They shorten us again.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports on the 300th episode. And now it's time for the funnies. CJ, over to you.
I think we have something interesting for the panel on our 300th episode and for our listeners. Oregon baby helps mom take smelly revenge on package thief. Now, an Oregon mother targeted by package thieves got back at the culprits with a decoy box filled with her infant son's soiled diapers. Angie Bolick posted a photo to Facebook showing the box of diapers she put out for the thieves and on her Hillsboro porch, along with a note reading, "Enjoy this, you thief." Bullock said the initial stolen package contained 4-month-old Ben's new Christmas pajamas. "It's the season for stealing. I guess Thursday I got an email from the store saying it was delivered and I didn't receive it." The mother said she put the box of the dirty diapers on the Sunday and it was gone by Monday evening. "I wanted to get my own, I guess, passive-aggressive revenge," she said. "The diapers were particularly pungent." Well, he's been sick the last week, so we'll leave the rest at that. It was pretty gross. Bullock said reported the thief to the police, and she and her husband are looking into installing a security camera on their porch. And that's what I call getting to do.
They got what they deserve. Oh, God.
They got them some doo-doo.
I don't know. I believe her when she says I believe her when she says it was pretty gross. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys wonder why I said I don't want kids.
Oh, so Goddess Kelly. Kids are more enjoyable than that, I guess. Anyway.
If water is splashing, is it? Or is that my imagination? I thought I heard it. 'Cause it must be time. I mean, isn't it time? I thought it might be time for my favorite underwater friend. I thought it was time for Flip It.
Yes, it is time for Flip It, where we defend one way and then we flip the script and defend it another way. Okay. Let's go to this one. According to Max Kellerman of First Take, the NFL will be replaced as Americans' game by the NBA because they market their stars better. All right, panel, let's defend. Max Kellerman has finally got it right. Just like baseball succumbed to the NFL, the NBA will rise next. Goddess Kelly, defend.
I mean, it's the absolute truth, and it is exactly what he says because they market the stars. I mean, I'm just for an example, I'm going to use my mother as an example, okay? My mother, she is a casual Ravens fan. She lives in Baltimore, and all of her friends are Ravens fans, so, like, you know, peer pressure and all that. But if I said to her, hey, Mom, do you know who J.J. Watt is? She doesn't know the answer. If they say, Mom, do you know who Russell Wilson is? She doesn't know who that is. She doesn't know who any of these other players are at all. But if I say, hey, Mom, do you know who LeBron James is? She's all like, yeah, I know who LeBron James is. Do you know who Kevin Durant is? Yeah, I know who Kevin Durant is. And that's what it is. It's because people as fans, we fall in love or fall in hate with a person. Now, true fans will love their team, do or die, but you love your team, not the sport. Whereas when you market an individual person and create them as either a hero or as a villain, you begin to see a bit of yourself in them, and it makes you pay attention more. It makes you more interested in these storylines. I mean, I mentioned Kevin Durant. How many people were paying attention last season to the saga between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and the MVP race versus, you know, is Kevin Durant going to get a ring, that sort of thing. People get involved with the storylines of people. In the NFL, there is absolutely no storyline of people. The closest thing this season we have is probably Carson Wentz, the fact that he's such a likable guy, and a lot of people do know who he is, but there's no drama storyline for that. It's just kind of like a Cinderella story, but there's no, like, epic hate rivalry in the NFL that makes the casual fans want to pay attention to it. And that's why people are starting to watch basketball more and more, because we feel like we're involved in the lives of these players. Where in the NFL, we admire their talent, we admire what they do on the field, but we don't have that personal connection to them. So absolutely, it's the truth. The NBA is on the rise.
All right, Goddess Kelly. So Goddess Kelly's mama, she knows the NBA, but she doesn't know the NFL. CJ, defend.
The NBA does have their stars. Like you guys say, that's true. But the NFL has been there forever. And they've always been a team like sport. I think that is the difference, and why that they will be replaced, because they don't have the drama. They don't have the connection to a kicker or a side guy, or, you know, just a quarterback. And nobody wants to give him all the credit, because if they did, then if the team lost, he would be the first to go. And they're always trying to save his butt. So I think that would be the reason why they would agree that they think that their stars are better. And that's the reason why they market them as such. And they trade them faster as well, too.
All right, CJ. There's always constant move in the NBA. Spitface, what's your take on their defend? Max Keller has finally got it right. Just like baseball succumbed to the NFL, the NBA will rise next.
You know, we are in an era where Twitter and social media is creating the interest. And if you look, there are NFL players in massive, there are NBA players in massive Twitter wars. You know, Russell Westbrook, Durant. You know, they tweeting at each other, having little wars and stuff. Steph Curry and the president, and so they build all that drama. So you hear about it, like Goddess Kelly was saying. You may not even be into them, but because of the Twitters and the tweets and all the drama that the NBA creates, hey, the young folks is looking at it and going, yeah, I like to watch that because I want to know what he going. Ooh, he's select. Even if you don't like the team, you want to see that matchup and everything. So the NBA, by it being a league of stars, it's in the era where they can leverage that in a way that the NFL can't. So, as they say, you had your ride, but it might be time to let someone else hop on that horse.
All right, hop on the horse. Well, this is what I think. The NFL, it has so many problems with a president. You have a scorned president ruining your brand. It's going to be difficult to stay America's team. But, however, you guys hit the nail on the head. Is the NBA's popularity. They do an excellent job marketing their elite players. They have numerous commercials showcasing these elite players. And these players, they self-promote themselves on social media. So that's the reason why the NBA is gaining more ground on the NFL. And the NBA is a global game, unlike the NFL. The NFL, they play games in London, but they don't have people in other countries playing American football. But they have people playing basketball all the time in every country. And the game changer for the NBA is the fact that millennials, they preferred basketball over football. And the NBA, and particularly Adam Silver, he does a great job marketing this target audience. I mean, they have things with the NBA, they have the apps, they have the streaming. They just gear most of their game to millennials. And let's face it, millennials are quite different than any other generation because they're going to have a major impact on their kids for years to come. So you have Roger Goodell, what he's done for the NFL, he continues to market to baby boomers. And we unfortunately know baby boomers will be extinct in 35 years. So that tells you where we're going with the NFL. Hey, I'm a baby boomer myself, so I know I only got 30-something years to listen to football and watch football. So we'll see. They really got to attract the millennials. But this is flip it. This is where we flip the script. The NFL became the behemoth. Boy, our producers are getting really smart with these words. The NFL became the behemoth because they only play 16 games and the league has parity. So even my Bears, you must mean CJ's Bears, can go from last to the next to last. Max, shut up. You got it wrong. All right. CJ, since it's your Bears, defend.
The NFL is being called out on the carpet because of Colin Kaepernick, and therefore they don't want to talk about the NFL right now. They'd rather that somebody else was going to promote the NBA. Yes, let's talk about the NBA all day long, because nobody in the NBA is taking a knee, so it's okay. We want to get this over with. We want this to go back into the shadows. We want to put it back into the past. Let's get over this. It's nothing to be said here. It's less and less minutes on our news reel now. Now it's, who? Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, what did he do? This whole thing is just lost. So, to me, the NFL, they're not going anywhere. They're just trying to behemoth the situation so that it just seems like that they're losing. They're always going to be there because they want the American way. That's the reason why the president didn't say, okay, well, if you don't like it, well, then stop it. No. Just keep on going. You see what they did?
Okay.
And one game has been lost.
I'm sorry. Well,
I said,
one
sorry,
game
that
lost.
one game was lost. Every
All
game's
right,
been played.
CJ. I'm sorry, CJ, you finished?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Goddess Kelly, please defend. Max just needs to shut up. He got it wrong.
I mean, he does need to shut up. When it comes to sports, NFL is king, and a lot of that does have to do with the fact that there is only so many games in the season. We look forward to it. The NFL offseason is like you start going through withdrawals, you start getting all itchy, like, oh my gosh, when can I watch some football again? And that's why we love it. In the NFL, every single game matters. In the NBA or in the MLB, there's so many games. There's like 80 something games. You can lose like 5 of them and it doesn't matter at all. You can still have the best record in the entire conference. With the NFL, it's not like that. Your season is literally almost on the line every single week, and that's what makes it so exciting. And then the same thing, you brought up the issue of parity, and in the NBA, with the way that the salary cap, the luxury tags, that sort of thing, you can build up these super teams that nobody's going to beat. Guess what? Spoiler alert, Golden State and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to the finals once again. In the NFL, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You can have a team that was complete crap last season that's all of a sudden doing amazing. Look at, we were talking earlier about the New Orleans Saints. Nobody saw that coming. Let's look again. We talked about the Giants. Going into the season, everyone predicted them to be the team to be in my division, in the NFC East. You never know. Injuries can be make or break. Suspensions can be make or break. It's any given Sunday. It's just a matter of who wants it more. And it's one game at a time, and every game counts. And then when it gets to the playoffs, it's single game elimination. It's not like in the NBA where it's a best of 7 type scenario. Every single game matters. And my dog is so fired up about the NFL. She's barking right now because she is a huge Eagles fan herself. So, yeah, that's right. The NFL is
right. Goddess Kelly is on remote today. All right.
I was, a couple of things that the goddess brought out is that the NBA, just like Major League Baseball, I mean, people love baseball. I love baseball, and I love basketball, but I can turn them on anytime I want to. Anytime I want to, I can get. I don't really even start watching games, especially in basketball, until after the All-Star break. Now I would go to a game, like, hey, just as an evening out because I enjoy the sport. But actually watching it, I'm going to tell you, if there's a good movie on, I might miss that game because it just don't click in until after the All-Star game. Because like everything else is like warm up. Same with baseball. Everything is like warming up to when you get to the stretch. Well, in the NFL, it ain't no warming up. You lose 1-2 games at the beginning of the season, your playoff chances start going down, way down. And that's just 2 games at the beginning of the season. Ask the New Orleans Saints. And so the drama is deeper because every week is critical. Every week. And you only have those limited number of games, and your team can be the Rams and be mediocre, and now you on fire. The other part is that loyalty. See, NFL creates loyal fans. The Raiders have loyal fans. The Bears have loyal fans. The Eagles, loyal fans. The NBA, they got fans. And like they said, they got fans of the stars, but not necessarily, like outside of OKC, how many folks, I'm a Thunder fan. You'll find. Now, the big boy, the Lakers and the Celtics, they had years, to build up fans on both coasts. They're about the only teams in the NBA that have the kind of loyalty that an NFL team has. I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns. They got fans. They talking about having a parade for a team if they go 0-16. Now that's some fans. Max, shut up.
Well, Spitface, look, I don't think they have fans in the NBA. I mean, look, I'm a Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan since 1979, and maybe later, earlier, 1970s. But they have loyal fans. I mean, we got to be loyal watching the New York Knicks. You didn't mention the Knicks.
Like I said, L.A., you know.
Okay, you said L.A. and Boston. You didn't mention the Knicks.
Okay,
I take offense to that.
Okay, I didn't want to exclude the Knicks, but that's my point was, you know, you got them big market teams where, they got, you know, loyal fans. But when you get past them, come on.
Okay, I know, but you know how sensitive I am about my New York Knicks, so you didn't put them because we loyal. I don't know any fan that's more loyal than the New York Knicks fan. But anyway.
I think they all drug addicted.
But, you know, you and Goddess Kelli, basically you guys sum it up. You sum up my argument. Like Goddess Kelli said, on any given Sunday, a team can be beat in the NFL, and it's difficult to repeat. And, the Patriots repeated, but that's an aberration. That's really an aberration. It's difficult to repeat. And like Goddess Kelli said, you already know who's going to the NBA Finals. As she indicated, it's going to be the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, a lot of people didn't think the Cavaliers were going to be there the way they were playing at the beginning of the season, but like you said, Spitface, we play 80-something games in the NBA, so they got time to work it out. And the thing is, teams, you know, always feel that they have a chance to win. But the point is their fans. That's the ones that really need to believe in it. And NFL fans are more engaged than NBA fans because NFL fans, they think that their teams can win. You know, they will continue, the NFL will continue to be America's game because there's always hope for a fan to dream that their team will be in the Super Bowl, unlike the NBA. All right, so that's it for Flip It. And CJ, take us to break.
Excuse
me, I'm sorry. No, Goddess Kelli. Goddess Kelli. It's, you know what? I'm hungry, so I don't know why I forgot Goddess Kelli and her jambalaya. All right, Goddess Kelli, what you got cooking today?
Well, you know what? I know it's the holiday season, so we're all trying to watch our waistline, so I can understand you trying to skip my jambalaya. I think I gained a few pounds over Thanksgiving myself, so it's cool. It's a low-fat jambalaya today, but it's a special mix I got going. So, here is the quote. I walked past a homeless guy with a sign that read, "One day, this could be you." I put my money back in my pocket, just in case he's right. So the question is, how does this quote relate to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell getting a new contract? And I mean, if you look at what he got out of this deal, it's pretty freaking amazing. That guy is set for life. He's making more than the players being the commissioner. I think it was like $200 million or something like that. You know what? Take the money and run, Roger, because, yeah, that is set. He is absolutely set. And I think the reason he was able to do this is he looked around at all these other people. I know you guys, huge fans, Condoleezza Rice, thought she'd be a good commissioner, but she doesn't have that kind of experience. So it's kind of like the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. And when it comes down to money for the league, as much as we all hate Roger Goodell, as much as we boo him, as much as people complain he's got absolute power over the players, it was, you know, the collective bargaining agreement that gave it to him. So good for him. Good for him for getting it done. That's all I got to say. What do you think, First Lady?
Well, I took it another direction because the man said, you know, you pass the homeless person puts up the sign, you know, one day this could be you, so put it back in, put his money back in the pocket. Well, I think the owners should have listened to Jerry Jones and put their money back in their pockets and not offer Roger Goodell a new contract and let him become homeless. But basically, the owners should have been wiser, and that's to me, the story is about being wiser. because, I mean, you got to look beyond that. Roger has made money for them, but his vision for the league is in jeopardy, and eventually it will hurt their pockets, and that's what's going to happen eventually. And I just think they should have just kept their money and try to find somebody else with this, to offer this money to, not Roger Goodell, because they already know what he can bring.
CJ.
Roger Goodell is the wizard. That's the reason why he was able to put his money back in his pocket and tip his hat to the little homeless guy on the street as he kept walking by him. He's got everybody fooled. He was a friend at one point to one person, stabbed him in the back. He was a friend to another, tripped him up.
CJ, are you talking about Roger Goodell or Donald Trump?
Always. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Is that not a Birdley of a Cincinnati? No, I just realized that one, Spitface, that they do have such great relationship personalities. I don't even say his name. That's 45. So, he got over. And the homeless person, he's going to be sitting there waiting to get the dreads of the people that he happens to hire that might feel sorry for him and might give him a penny or two or a quarter. But he's not going to get it from him. No. Unless it's tax time. Is it tax time?
Spitface, what do you think?
One of the things looking at the quote, one thing, Roger Goodell would give the homeless guy some money. Because he know I'm not going to end up in your situation. He know it ain't no, well, you might be, no, he ain't going to, Roger Goodell know, no, it ain't going to happen to me. So here, you better take this money right now. And one of the things there is no comparison between Roger Goodell and President Donald Trump. There really isn't. Because if you want to compare Roger Goodell, you got to compare him to Vladdy. Because Vladdy is running things. Vladdy is running the President of the United States. And the only person Vladdy ain't running is Roger Goodell. So Don Goodell, when you compare the president to Roger Goodell, that's like comparing Michael Corleone and The Godfather to Freddie. I'm smart. And you know how things turned out for Freddie. Little fishing ride in a boat that he didn't come back from. All right. So, but Don Goodell has proven again that the owners snap in line with what he say. Because you notice that he got everything he wanted. Like I said, kids, you don't want to play football. You want to learn how to be the commissioner of football.
It's true. All right. While we digest some of that, CJ, take us to break.
Okay. You are listening to...
Well, we know we're listening to, but what's the break?
Oh, wait. Don't take us to break. Oh, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Zanya Laurence on Shoutouts. Please stay tuned.
She was really looking forward to the next track. All right, that was good.
I said, CJ, don't worry, I had bubble
right
too, because I was trying to get. I said, let's move on. I was trying to get through the break.
I thought we had been there already for a second.
Okay, what's the name of my track again? I forgot.
Live the dream, right?
Live the dream. That's right.
Okay, now I'm back. Here. I see.
I know. Trust me, I went ahead of the script and I got confused.
I'm looking at the time, I guess, and I'm looking at the script where I was like, whoa, okay, wait. Then I said, no.
We started late, yeah.
Moved it up. You ready?
I think Spitface had to be right back.
Okay,
Who?
so.
Oh, he did.
Ronnie.
Ronnie Beeson. Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, boy.
Nice waiting.
I bet that jambalaya sent him straight to the bathroom.
Oh, God. I think you were having issues with your dog. My dog tried to act up, too. I told him, get away.
Usually, if he starts, I can catch it and I can mute it, but I was talking and...
Right. Yeah,
Well,
I
he was feeling your energy.
Yeah.
He was trying to be, he was your hero. He was feeling your energy. He was
Right.
saying, yeah.
I have all these neighbors that I live in a row house, so when my neighbors are out on the porch, it sets her off.
I put my dog outside. I said, get out of here. It stopped raining. That was the great thing because he really needed to go outside anyway. So you live where, in Cleveland or or Philly?
I'm in Allentown.
Oh, you're in Allentown. Oh, you're in upstate Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was in Cleveland when we started, then I moved to Allentown.
Oh, Allentown. Okay. Yeah, Allentown. I try to remember where is Allentown. That's not near. Oh Jesus, what's the other place where they have the Vanity Fair and all that place? Oh God,
I don't know.
I'm trying to,
Allentown is
the name just eluded me.
It's in the Lehigh Valley.
It's in Lehigh, yeah. Oh gosh, Reading. Are you near Reading, PA?
No, that's not too close.
Oh, you're further north, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I still can't get anywhere here without my GPS, so.
Oh.
Well, you think we should keep going?
Well, he does. Well, I don't know how to maneuver the recording part.
That's what I said. You think we should keep
Shut up,
going?
Harry. I'm making all that noise. I know, but you know how to do the recording part? We can't do it unless it's recorded.
Oh, cool.
Right. The recording is off, so I think there is a way that we can do it, but let's just
let's just wait.
Yeah, let's just wait.
I'm just gonna get up just for a second. Ouch, and peek out the window. Oh no, it snowed.
You have snow?
Yes.
Yes, so do we.
Let me go and peek at my car. Help.
You have a lot of snow too, right? You gotta tell.
It's coming down.
Oh, it's not that bad. Okay. All right. It's less than an inch. Goodness gracious. Gotta clean up my car. Good thing I got some gas, so it won't freeze over.
I mean, and CJ, the other part too, because we're getting ready to do a song. So if we didn't have to do the song, we probably could have gone on, but he has to put the song in from his part.
Oh, I'm cool.
Cool.
Honey, I'm just
Oh, and I
moving around.
apologize. I didn't mean to rush you. I thought you were finished twice.
No, I was
sorry.
like, no, it was okay. I was like, oh my goodness. I said I didn't want to cough. I said she thinks I'm pausing too much. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. Now I burned up my little potato. We're going to get another one.
Oh boy, the we got some tough picks this week. I can tell you that, but there's some tough games to
Oh,
pick
yeah.
from. That Eagles Ram game, that I'm still on the fence with that one.
I'm a little nervous.
I
Not gonna
know. Part
lie.
of me, I mean, I knew Seattle was going to beat the Eagles. I thought they were due to lose, but this one I'm very unsure about the Rams and the Eagles. I
It
gotta
was such an
decide.
ugly loss, too. That was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
You hear my dog barking?
Yeah.
Bring his behind in the house.
Oh, why can't we have a little vocalization?
Aries, come on.
Hey there.
Come on inside. Let me get him some. You know how I lure him in? I get him some treats. He could be on the other side of the house. When he hear me open that bag, he's ready to come in. He's at the door.
Yeah.
I hope Ronnie B is okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, Ronnie B, this is unusual. Now, in 300 episodes, this has never happened. So this show's been really unusual.
Well, then again, remember, you never had me on a show either before.
No.
And the goddess at the same time.
I know.
It's epic.
What do I do?
It's a new phenomenon.
Yeah, this is strange for him to take this long.
Well,
I didn't even hear him say that he was leaving because we were.
He said it real quick.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Oh boy. So, Goddess Kelly, you said you never wanted children, huh?
Nope. Never.
Okay, yeah.
Not gonna
I know
happen.
it's rough. Trust me, my life changed when I actually I've had 2 attempts to have children, but it just didn't work out. But I adopted my son when he was 6 years old. So trust me, my life changed after that. It's difficult having children. Oh.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got the system booted me out for a minute there, okay? And okay. My internet went out, so you ladies still there? Yeah, y'all are still there.
Must be the day for it.
Bad weather.
No, well, we ain't got no bad weather here. So
Keep rubbing it
Okay.
in.
Then you must have
You were
what,
talking
18
about 45.
yeah, it's okay.
You started talking about
Yeah.
45 and they blinked you out.
Oh man,
What did it do?
man. Okay, and just 1 second.
Wait. Get back there. Wait. Wait. Okay, here, you are listening. That's me. I'm ready.
Okay, 1 second, and let's see if I can. Why is it not doing this right? And let's try this one more time here. And yeah, I can't tell if we're being recorded. All right, it says this session is being recorded. Now, let me try.
Right now, it says it says it's being recorded. It says there's no presenter. Is that so? You the presenter?
Yeah, but you're a panelist too, so you should be able to. 1 second.
You want me to push the record button? It says start recording audio in the presenter's screen. No, I don't want to do that. I don't trust touching that.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, yeah, go ahead and press that. And
press what?
You said where you see where it says record, start record.
No, it doesn't say start. It says stop recording. That's why I said I don't want to touch that.
Oh, it says stop recording. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, all righty. We'll just have to
see.
do some edit. Okay. Now go ahead, and CJ, go ahead and pick it up, and we'll just have to edit. All right. So go for it.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Goddess Kelli, over to you.
We have another performance from Zanya Laurence. Let's hear Live the Dream.
Just a child, my mother told me I could do anything, anything. And I believe her now. I'm all grown, and I can say that I'm doing everything, everything. Hard to come, live a dream, live a dream. I wanna live a dream, live a dream. Yeah, I wanna live a dream, live a dream. I wanna live a dream, live a dream. I said I wanna live a dream, live a dream. I wanna live a dream, live a dream. Yeah, I wanna live a dream, live a dream. I wanna live a dream again. In sky, to the sky, to live a dream. Don't you know the sky, to the sky, to live a dream. Shining, red, going red, right up to the clouds. It goes to the let us wake it down. If you wanna live the dream, live the dream. You wanna live the dream, live the dream. You say you wanna live the dream, live the dream. You wanna live the dream, live the dream. You say you wanna live the dream, live the dream. You wanna live the dream, live the dream. If you wanna live the dream, live the dream. You wanna live the dream, go get it, sky, to the sky, to live the dream. Don't you know the sky, the sky, to live a dream. You're unstoppable, unstoppable, unstoppable. Baby, you're unstoppable,
All right, is it over? That was Live the Dream. So is the track getting a shout out or the mute button? For me, the first song was complete and utter rubbish. It was just terrible. This one went from rubbish to just plain trash. I don't like her voice. I don't like the vibe. I don't like anything about it. It's not my genre. It's not for me, and I don't think she's very talented. I'm sorry. First Lady, what'd you think?
Well, I did give the first track a yo, but I'm going to give this one a no. I'm going to hit the mute button. Just didn't like the song at all. Didn't even like her voice. Her voice actually changed. It seemed like her voice got lower. So I don't know what happened. It sounded like it was two different people singing, as a matter of fact. So I'm just going to say no to this.
What about you, CJ?
Like I said, this music is for scene music. This is for that adult X-ray XXX or some hookah lounge stuff. You know, something that you need just in the background to make some noise. Nothing to pay attention to, but has to be there. That's that music, and she would do great there because that's what it sounds like. Otherwise, for the popularity, it's going to get a mute. But background busy noises, she should think about going into film soundtrack stuff. That'd make a good thing for walking down the street.
What about you, Spitface? What'd you think? I think Spitface hated it so much he forgot to take it off mute. Well, that is the end of Shout Out. If you liked what you heard from Zanya Laurence, check her out at ZanyaLaurenceWorld.com. I'll spell it out for you. It's ZanyaLaurence World.com. And if you would like to be heard, or if you have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to panties@grumpyradio.com. And now it is time for my favorite part of the show. So First Lady, over to you for the picks.
It's time for the picks. Will the First Lady keep her crown? Yes, I have to talk to myself in third person. From last year, NFL season, or will a new champion rise? Now, we have two results to provide, but just to give everybody a reminder where we were before the two results. Grand totals right now, I was leading at 770,000 points. Goddess Kelli has 654,000 points. CJ has 642,000 points. And Spitface was in the red at minus 103,000 points. So after our November 18th show, for those picks, Spitface had 551,000 points for the show. Goddess Kelly had 403,000. I had minus 401. CJ, you had minus 399,000. So our grand totals after the November 18th show was Goddess Kelly was in the lead at 1,057,000 points. Spitface was in second place. See how quickly things change? At 448,000 points. And I was at 376,000 points. And CJ, you were at 243,000 points. We had a rough week after the November 18th show.
Yeah,
all right.
indeed.
Then we did some picks. We didn't have a show, but we still decided to have our picks. And Spitface led that with 1,025,000 points. I came in second with 775,000 points. Goddess Kelly, you had 325,000 points, and CJ, you had 75,000 points. So the current grand totals are: Spitface is leading with 1,473,000 points. Goddess Kelly is second with 1,382,000 points. I'm third with 1,151,000 points. And CJ, you're at 318,000 points. So, doesn't matter where you are because you can come back. I just wanted to emphasize that. So let's get to the current games. The Colts versus the Bills, 10,000 for a win and minus 10,000 for a loss. All right, I'll start it off. Man, no man, I just don't know because if Tyrod Taylor isn't playing, I am definitely not rooting for the Bills because of Peterman. We know what he did when they put him in. They had to quickly, and I mean quickly, put Tyrod Taylor back into the game. So I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. CJ, who do you have?
I got the Bills.
You have the Bills. Goddess Kelly.
I'm going to take the Bills.
Okay. Spitface.
Well, the Colts can barely win a game at home. On the road, Bills.
Well, you forgot they got Peterman as the quarterback, so that's why I'll take my chance with what's his name, Broody. What's his name? The guy who is a backup for Tom Brady.
Jacoby Brissett.
Kobe Brissett. I take my chance with Kobe Brissett. So anyway, you say the Bills. All right. The Lions versus the Buccaneers. 10,000 for the correct answer, minus 10,000 for the incorrect answer. CJ, who do you have?
I'm taking the Lions.
You taking the Lions. Goddess Kelly.
Neither one of these teams is doing as well as I thought they would do this year. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers.
You're gonna take the Bucks. Spitface.
I just, the Buccaneers, their quarterback play is suspect. The Lions, their play is just suspect overall. But I'm gonna ride with them Lions one more time.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to ride with the Lions, too. They disappointed me. I picked them last week, and they didn't do well. All right, this is a big divisional game. The Raiders versus the Chiefs. 10,000 for the correct answer, minus 10,000 for the incorrect answer. Spitface, who do you have? Goddess Kelly. Let me start with you, Goddess Kelly. Who do you have?
For fantasy football reasons, I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Spitface.
And I don't like either one of these teams. So I'll go with the home team. I'll go with the Chiefs.
All right, I'm going with the Chiefs because the Chiefs have to win. They've lost 5 games in a row. They have to win. CJ, who do you have?
Got the Raiders.
Oh, you got the Raiders. Okay, all right. You're rolling with the Raiders. 49ers versus Texans. 10,000 for the correct answer, minus 10,000 for the incorrect answer. Spitface, who do you have?
But if Jimmy Garoppolo was on the Texans, that would make it interesting. But seeing how he's on the 49ers, I'll go with the Texans since they're at home.
All right. I'm going to go with the Texans because they need a ring, too, because they've lost since Deshaun Jackson has Deshaun Watson has been out. So I'm going to go with the Texans. CJ, who do you have?
I got the Texans, too.
Goddess Kelly.
Yeah, I got to take those Texans.
I know, and everybody went against the 49ers. We took the Bears, and you know what happened with that situation. All right, moving along. The Packers versus the Browns. Woo, we jump up to 100,000 for the correct answer, minus 100,000 for the incorrect answer. I'm going to take the Packers. If they cannot beat the Browns, then they don't even deserve to try to get a playoff spot. I don't know. Is that bad man coming back this week? There was some rumblings about that, so I don't know, but I'm going to pick the Packers. CJ, who do you have?
I got the Packers, and if they don't win, at least I'll get drunk.
Okay. Goddess, she's going to get drunk. All right. Either way. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
I think we're still 1 week out from the return of Rodgers, but I'm still going to take the Packers.
Okay. And Spitface?
I'm going to go with the Browns because somehow, some way, they might luck up. And the Packers have make a few mistakes, or the ball bounce wrong or something, or somebody's thumb get hurt, So, at some point, they got to, get a break from an unlikely opponent. So I'm going to go with the Browns on a lark.
See, that's what happens when you start leading. You take chances. Spitface. All right. Let's go to the Jets versus the Broncos. 100,000 for the correct answer and minus 100,000 for the incorrect answer. CJ, who do you have?
I got those Jets.
You have the Jets. Goddess Kelly.
All right, let me flip a coin. I'm going with the Jets.
Spitface.
The Broncos keep acting weird. I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Well, I think it's a grand slam because I'm going with the Jets also because I have no faith in the Broncos. All right. Let's get to some hodgepodge. Vikings versus the Panthers. 500,000 for the win, minus 200,000 if you lose. Who's up? Okay, Goddess Kelly, you the first one on this one. Who are you picking, Panthers or Vikings?
That Vikings D is tough, but I think Cam might be out to prove something in this game, so I'm going to take the Panthers.
Spitface?
Vikings.
You got the Vikings. I'm rolling with Cam. I'm going to go take the Panthers. CJ, who do you have?
I love Cam. Everybody knows I do. But I need points. So I'm going with the Vikings.
I hear you. All right. Who will have more passing yards, Big Ben or Tom Terrific Brady? 150,000 with the win, minus 150,000 with the loss. All right. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
God, this hurts me inside, but I'm going to say Tom Brady.
All right. Spitface.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. I have Brady. CJ, who do you have?
I got to go with TB. The Brady guy.
The Brady, okay. Option 1, Eagles versus the Rams. 500,000 for the win, minus 600,000 for the loss. All right, Spitface, are you taking the option?
I'm not taking the option.
You're going to pass. All right. I'm next up. I'm going to take the option. I really should pass on this one because I'm still haven't decided who's going to win. Oh, I think the Rams really need to win. The Eagles have already cemented their division, but they probably want to have the best record. I'm going to take the Rams. CJ, who do you have?
I'm going with you-know-who.
Or are you going to pass? Let me ask you before you. Are you passing or are you going to pick?
The Eagles got to fly again. Put me down for those little Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. Goddess Kelly, are you passing or are you going to take the Eagles?
All right, I've got to take the option, and all I've got to say is, fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to glory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Option 2. Okay, well, the Ravens versus the Steelers, 500,000 for the correct answer, minus 500 for the incorrect answer. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Ravens. I'm taking the option with the Steelers. CJ?
I'm going to take those Steelers with you.
All right, Goddess Kelly, are you taking the option?
Yes, and I will also take the Steelers.
All right, Spitface, are you taking the option?
I'm not taking the option.
Well, you in first place, so now you think you're comfortable at the top.
Playing it safe.
Playing it safe now. All right, well, that's the picks, and we'll see how well we do next week. It's time for our outrageous predictions for the week. Goddess Kelly, what is your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that First Lady in Florida is going to get more snow than me up here in Pennsylvania.
Ooh, that will be outrageous. I don't know the last time it snowed in Miami. All right. CJ, what is your outrageous prediction?
That Time Warner will put Colin Kaepernick on the first cover of the year for Time.
Oh, okay. And Spitface, what's your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win out.
Oh.
That's outrageous. That's really
It's more outrageous than mine.
Well, my outrageous prediction is that the Golden State Warriors will lose 5 games in a row without, you know who, Curry. Stephen Curry. They're going to lose 5 games in a row. They're on a streak now, but it's going to come to them. They're going to lose 5 in a row. That's my outrageous. All right. As the state of Mississippi celebrates the opening of the Civil Rights Museum, and you know there's a lot of controversy regarding the Civil Rights Museum in Mississippi because the governor of Mississippi decided to invite Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, I mean, let's not say that, you know, what has he done for civil rights or anything, and we know how he feels about certain things. But anyway, we have a quote from one of the pioneers in the movement of the civil rights movement from Mississippi. Her name is Fannie Lou Hamer, and she once said, "I feel sorry for anybody that could let hate wrap them up. Ain't no such thing as I can hate anybody and hope to see God's face." All right. Goddess Kelly, how can the listeners check you out on your other broadcasts?
You can check me out on the Red Zone with Kelly and Rashawn, bringing sexy back to sports. We're live every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can follow us on blogtalkradio.com/momentumshift. You can also check us out on our sponsor website, goingfor2.com.
Okay. CJ, how can people visit you on Facebook and Sabor?
Oh, they can visit us at Sabor, at Instagram, and at Twitter. You can find us at all 3. And wait till next year. We're going to have a new surprise for you, too.
Okay, then the fans, you can check me out at Cheryl Smith at First Lady of Sports. And fans, please visit our new website, braspantysports.com, where you'll find links for each of us, original episodes, and the Bearskin Lounge with our friend Dizzy Mack. Please enjoy the performance at the end of the show. This has been Cheryl Smith, CJ, Goddess Kelly, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.
I'm deadly with my words, killing audiences with each line that I spit, killing your preconceived notions about what you thought poetry should be, making you think, pausing your distractions and playing to both the left and right side of your brain, conscientious with my topics, making you think outside of the box, outside of what you normally hear. You'll never hear me spit on sex, drugs, or how much of a hustler I am. The only thing I hustle is this poetry spit, putting in work, slinging these conscientious words all over the place. Have you saying, Chris, this is the best quality spit I've ever heard, begging, aiming for more. I have you saying encore. Encore. And I really don't mean to sound conceited. The verses I spit, God tells me that's what's needed. Even when I pleaded, saying, God, I don't know about doing this piece for this audience. I don't know how they'll receive it. God says, this is the audience who needs it. So I heeded, proceeded, and in the end, succeeded. See, I'm slowly bearing the source of my own so-called creativity and digging up and excavating God's validity, not afraid to let God speak through me, because although it's me, your I see, I only say the words from him to me, and I spit to you. I write exactly what he tells me to and do what he tells me to do. Therefore, each piece you hear me do is true. Blessing the mic every time I step to a stage, creating lyrical outrage, feeling the audience is fully engaged. Confident with each piece I do, it's appropriate for any age. Never will you catch me getting X-rated. Getting X-rated is overrated and most times unrelated to the topic that's being stated. I'd rather hit you with a spit that God created and I restated and watch you become elated, sedated by God's words that I translated and you related to. Cutting through to you with a different point of view, changing up this poetry game and have you rethinking everything you thought you knew, knocking you out with my meticulous follow through, and have you saying your presence in this game is well overdue, but never failing to give God all the due, because had it not been for him removing my timidity, I would have never been able to push through. So God, to you I say, thank you, My name is Chris.